Okay, so once you purchase your Huawei Nova 5T, for me, the very first thing that I think you should do is to install a custom launcher. Now, I have a video where I show you some of the best minimal custom launchers to help you make the most of your device. And so in this particular video, we are going to install the Niagara launcher because I think that the skin that Huawei puts on Android is a bit mediocre. It's not so exciting. It just gets the work done. So once you install Niagara launcher, you open it and you have the option to select your favorite apps, and these apps are always going to be shown at the top of the screen. Now it makes the whole experience very unique, very minimal, and it helps you to use the apps that you want to use most at any point in time without any form of clutter. I try to live a very clutter-free life. And now, to make the most out of this launcher, you also need to change your wallpaper. And this particular wallpaper that I'm using is boring, so I head over to Wallpapers. And the good thing is, with the stock Huawei wallpaper apps that you get, you can go to the Huawei Wallpaper store, and there are free versions of wallpaper as well as paid versions. But within the free versions, you can find some which are really cool, which can complement the minimalistic launcher that you have downloaded. So once I scroll through and I find the free one that I like, I can just try it and apply it both to the lock screen and to the home screen. So once I test it and I see, oh, maybe it doesn't work too well, I just go back, repeat the process, and find a wallpaper which I really love and can get behind, and then I slap it onto my home screen and my lock screen, and it looks really, really good, I must admit. Like I said, I have a video of some of the best minimal launchers, and I'll link a card above so that you can watch the video and download some. Now, the next thing that I think you need to do is to turn off Wi-Fi Plus. A lot of people who purchase the Huawei Nova 5T complain that Wi-Fi stability is a big issue, like the Wi-Fi connection keeps dropping. And when you go to the settings and you go to Wi-Fi Plus, now anything that I say, I'm not going to go through like the detailed steps of how to get there, because once you go to settings and then you just search for what I'm talking about, for example Wi-Fi Plus, you are going to find it in the search results, and then you can go straight there. Okay, so just go to Wi-Fi Plus and then turn it off. Now what Wi-Fi Plus does is, if you're using your Wi-Fi and it detects that the connection is not too strong, it will drop you automatically and switch to your regular cell phone data. And so that's why some of you are having that challenge. So just turn it off, and then it's going to retain your Wi-Fi connection even if the connection is weak. Now the next thing, which I think is really, really important, is for you to turn on lock screen signature. Now what the lock screen signature does is that it shows a text on your lock screen in case your phone gets lost or picked by somebody. So the good thing I like about the Huawei one, as opposed to other devices I've used, is that the Huawei one allows you to type really long messages which scroll on the lock screen. Others, you have like maybe just 10 letters or 12 character limit, and so you can't really type a lot. You can maybe just type your name, cyber reviews, or your phone number. But with the Huawei one, I can say, please return this phone to this particular number, living in this area or whatever, once it gets lost. Or if you find this phone, please call this number to return to the owner for a handsome reward. Or whatever, you can customize the message as long as possible. And because it scrolls, the person can read. And hopefully, if your phone gets stolen or missing, somebody can see that message and return your phone to you. Now, the next thing that I would encourage you to do is app icon badges. By default, the app icon badges just show like a dot if you have a new notification for a social media app or a gaming app or any kind of app. But then, the dot doesn't really tell you a lot. It just tells you that you have a new unread notification. But if you want to see the number of unread messages or notifications, I think that you should change it from the dots and then put it to numbers, and then it really, really, really helps the user experience. Now the next thing is to turn off app permissions where they are not needed. Now some apps have access to so many permissions that you wonder, like, what would your messaging app or your contacts app or Like some apps have access to your location, they have access to your camera, they have access to your microphone, they have access to your file storage, and so many other data that you don't need them to have. You understand? So you just go through. For example, if your calculator has permissions to your camera and your calls and your text messages and things, you should be really, really concerned. So just go through the list. Any app which doesn't need to have certain permissions, turn off those permissions. And certain permissions are really key, high risk permissions, like location. Anybody can know where you are at any time, like ability to make calls on your behalf, okay, or even to listen to your calls, or to read your text messages, or to see your call history, to see your browser history, to access your files, to access your camera. Just go through that list and see, does this app need to have this particular permission? If not, turn it off and save your life. Next, disable personalized ad. Now, this feature is enabled by default. Turn it off and save your life. Nowadays, privacy has become a main issue. For example, with this whole issue of the WhatsApp privacy policy and people moving from WhatsApp to Telegram to Signal, etc. You don't just want to give all your data to Huawei. You don't know what they may be using it for. So just search for ads and then disable personalized ads. Huawei will say they need this information to be able to serve you better content. But no, you don't need that, because I haven't seen how they are serving me any better content. It just means that they are taking my data and probably selling it to third parties, which is very, very risky. Now, my next tip for you to make the most out of your Huawei Nova 5T is to enable ultra power saving mode, and by default it is hidden from the control center. So when you go to edit the control center, just look for ultra power saving mode and then add it to the list. Now, what ultra power saving mode does is when your battery level is low, or even at any point in time, you can actually click on it, and then what it's going to do is it's going to close all background apps and then restrict your phone to just the most basic of apps and most important apps you need, like the ability to call and to SMS. It reduces the screen resolution, and even if you are like at 13%, you can get your phone to last over 6 hours, and that will definitely guarantee that you'd be able to get home or to the office in time and then plug in your charger, and then with the fast charging adapter included with the Huawei Nova 5T, you'd be able to get some juice up and running. So it's a really, really handy feature that I love to use, because the Huawei Nova 5T has just 3,750 milliamperes of battery capacity, which in 2020 seems a bit small as compared to the rest of the industry. So if you find yourself having low battery, just put ultra power saving mode on, especially if you don't need to be on social media, you are driving or whatever. At any point in time, just turn on ultra power saving mode and your battery is going to last really, really, really long. So these are some of the best tips and tricks that I personally use on my Huawei Nova 5T. Let me know which other best tips and tricks you have in the comments below. Now, if you're new to my channel, I do mobile phone reviews, mobile app reviews, and I bring to you affordable gadget reviews to help you make an informed decision when you're making your next purchase. So if you like that kind of content, please click on the subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you do not miss any episode. Now, this has been the most requested video ever since I made the Huawei Nova 5T review. So let me know what you think of it. If you like it, please press the like button. Thanks, Bebre.